Welcome to Raising the Bar podcast.
Sponsored by the Ashmore Law Firm.
We're your hosts and siblings,
Gary Ashmore.
and Lori Ashmore Peters.
Subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
Welcome to Raising the Bar podcast today with our incredibly special guests, Rich and Rock and Rich.
That's it.
Short bus special.
Yeah, right.
So can we call y'all the dynamic duo?
Of course.
Who's
You
Batman
can.
and who's Robin?
You can.
Well, some people
Oh,
may not
man.
know who Batman and Robin are.
Rich.
I don't know who
Well,
the
it's
audience
because
is.
I'm clearly Batman, right? I mean, we're good with that. Oh, see,
He's
that
wearing
might be a
black.
problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Yeah, we
All
would
right.
argue about that for
See,
sure.
maybe you can do the whole pow.
Oh, can you do things
Once.
above our heads? Right, that do that?
That's
Luke,
awesome.
Luke is thinking, who in the hell are Batman and Robin? What are you
Oh,
talking
no,
about?
you don't know who Batman and Robin are.
Okay, all right. Well, so y'all are on our turf.
We are
today.
Yeah.
this
Well,
is-
thanks for having us. First of all, we love it over here, and we love recording here for sure.
Absolutely.
It's great.
We love
Yeah.
having you guys here.
For sure. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So Raising the Bar podcast is sponsored by the Ashmore Law Firm.
Nope,
Yes.
sorry,
And
yes.
that's you and I.
Yes.
Just want to make that clear.
Yep.
Brother, sister.
Not
that there's-
husband, wife.
Right?
Yep.
Correct.
Make no mistake.
All right.
Yeah, welcome
And-
to Arkansas.
Yeah.
All right.
You would be surprised.
Alabama.
You know what? So I'll tell you, years ago when my husband and I, well, at the time, my boyfriend, I mean, he's 6'4". The rest of the family is, I think, Gary, you're the tallest at maybe 5'8",
Right.
5'9". And we had some girl that was with us, and she was just like, oh, y'all are all siblings. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we are. So my husband and I, at the time, boyfriend, we walked ahead of her, and I'm like, okay, let's just screw with her mind. And he planted a huge one on me. She was like, what are y'all doing? It's like, no, he's
Oh,
not
boy.
a sibling.
Wow. Well, no,
She
that's
probably
fun.
still
hey,
tells that story.
Uh-huh.
No,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you guys are so kind. You actually sponsor and partner with us on our show, Rock and Rich.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah,
Very
which is
cool.
really cool. So yeah, thank you.
We love it. You know what? Being Lebanese, we love having fun. We love sponsoring things. We love parties.
It's cool.
Right. That's
We
right.
love parties.
We do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Lebanese. There's a curveball. I would have. If
I
I
didn't
was
know
to
that.
guess.
You didn't know that?
No,
No.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Mom's first generation here. Dad is what?
Second or third? Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
So they're both Lebanese.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah,
How
she didn't
about
speak
that?
English until she was in 3rd grade
Right.
Don't worry, I'm still struggling with it.
with the English
I know,
language.
right?
Rich still can't read.
But that's the only
I have
language
a
you
podcast,
know.
and I'm in communications. It's horrible.
Hey, man, you make it work.
You
You
do.
gotta figure it out, right?
Don't tell your employers that.
No. No, that's
No,
why I
that-
don't have an employer.
Our little
completely-
secret.
Yeah, I'm completely unhireable.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we started, I think shooting the video, we were talking about is straightness a word?
Straightness?
Oh,
Yes,
keeping
sir.
everything straight because
Keeping
of your
everything
OCD kind
Yep.
of straightness. Yeah. Me and
Yeah.
Lori are.
The two bookends are, yeah. Oh yeah.
It's important.
It
So-
it
Agreed.
is. Well, and I think it's a testament to who you are as kind of a person, how you like things sort of organized and set up, right?
Right.
I mean,
right, of course.
that's I think
How,
it's an
how do you
indication of
have
that.
kids and like things organized?
Yeah, yeah.
You have to
Does
kind
that
of
work?
learn to go with it.
You do.
You do.
Yeah, there's a flexibility there. I think you have to sort of allow it to happen, but I get it. At first it was a struggle, but I have dogs too, and so my wife, she really struggles with the dogs.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she struggles with the dogs more than I do with the kids. Yeah, the fur and
Right. Of
Two
course.
big dogs.
Everywhere.
We,
Yeah,
we have a
yeah.
ton of fur. All
Yeah.
right, so craziest pet story.
Let me hear it.
No, you.
Oh, mine.
I've got, I'll share mine, but you first.
Oh my god.
Oh, Henry's
I
got
don't
a.
even know.
I mean,
yeah.
dude, tell her the one about putting him to bed and he got 10 million views.
So okay, so I did a live sort of what do you call it?
it was just a little video clip. I mean, it was nothing.
I wanted to prove to people that you can make any type of video go viral on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. And I thought, okay, what's something easy that I could do twice a day, every day for 10 or 20 days or whatever, right? And I posted about this on LinkedIn. And because I own a media company, so it's part of what I do. I represent influencers, and people ask me all the time about how to get things to go viral. I'm like, well, if you know certain things and sort of parameters, you can kind of make it happen, right? Well, okay, what can I do? Well, my dog, he is a pit bull mix and he likes to be covered up with a blanket at night. And so it's something that we would do naturally, right?
And his name is Henry.
Henry, yeah. King Henry, yeah.
He's
if
a
you go
Henry.
if you go
He's
on
so
my
a
account
Henry.
now, you could still see
I'm
it.
gonna
Yeah,
have to look at that.
yeah, you can see it. RW Harmer, on the TikTok.
He
But
puts him to bed.
yeah, so anyway, I started covering up. Well, the first video, a few 100,000. Next one, a few million. The fourth video got 10 million
Oh,
Oh
my
views.
gosh.
Yeah, and it got so big and out of control that I had to keep it going because we created fans.
Right.
Like people would get used to seeing my dog being covered up twice a day.
But it was cool for your media company because you could then say, look, you want me to make something go viral?
You can do
Here's
it.
what I'm capable of.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, and people sort of
That
knew
is
that.
awesome.
Yeah, people sort of knew that anyway. But that is a crazy. It's just something your dog does naturally. But again,
No.
I
don't
mean,
know if
no,
it's
that is not
natural.
natural.
Right.
Yeah. You know, when your dog goes and gets
Naturally.
you a beer and brings it back and opens it, it's just
Natural.
normal dog stuff.
You mean your dog doesn't do that
Yeah,
either?
what?
it's the evolution of dogs. It's just happening much faster. Yeah, but seriously though, that's a funny story. But it's like, you can do stuff like that. It's crazy the
That is
world we live
crazy
in.
these days.
you know?
Man, if we would have had a video and TikTok back when we were growing up.
Oh, we'd probably all still be in prison.
Right.
So.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Are
true.
you kidding me?
Now you
Yeah.
can ask Gary why he makes his bed
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
every
Sounds like my wife.
morning.
Well, let's come back to that. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. So first, I would like to know, when someone introduced or said that we have this dynamic duo, Rock and Rich, they want to talk with us. We want to partner up and do some things together. I thought first it was Big and Rich. I'm thinking, oh my God, Big and Rich, of course.
Oh,
country
man.
music
Who
band.
hadn't heard of those
of
two?
course. So like, no, it's Rock and Rich. Well, who are those guys? So I want y'all to share with our viewers, who are those guys? So tell us about Rock and Rich. I know you mentioned earlier you've got a media company. I think at one point you were an attorney.
Yep.
Share with us kind of who you guys are and how y'all came to be and go from there.
We became friends at a Asian fusion restaurant. Mario introduced us about 10 years ago ish, and we just immediately hit it off. It was kind of weird. I mean, then we were like, "Hey, Mario, can we go to lunch again with each other?"
Now wait, but you're practicing law at this
Yeah,
time?
yeah,
or
I'm
you're-
practicing
okay,
law at this
okay,
time.
got it.
And so, and actually, I was looking for Mario put us together because I was looking for a marketing guy.
Oh, okay, here we go.
And
All right.
so, yeah, and so me and Rich just started to become friends, and then we started insulting each other like friends do. And somebody heard us. I think it might have been Mario, but
It was somebody on Facebook. And really quick, I didn't really work with a lot of law firms. I used to work inside one, and I just was, sort
Yeah.
of not excited about working with a law firm and helping them.
yeah,
with their
well,
marketing.
but
And-
also
Or
Rich.
working with attorneys. I can understand that
yes,
completely.
No
yeah,
offense.
it was just
no offense.
but,
no offense.
but
Not taken.
It's good, but Rocky was a little bit different.
Yeah,
And so-
I mean, I had really, really bizarre marketing because I didn't want to be that guy in the phone book with the other 500 guys.
Right.
I wanted to be wearing a gi, holding a machine gun, and a big stack of hundreds.
There we
and
go.
Rich just instantly got it and wanted to go that direction. And so he really got my phone ringing off the hook, and we did really well for
Yeah.
a long time.
For sure.
And that somebody heard us, or I think we were fighting over something on Facebook.
On Facebook. Yeah, it was on Facebook.
And somebody said, "You guys should do a podcast." And then somebody else said it. I think Mario was
Yep.
the second person, and we said, "Dude, why don't we? That would be fun."
Yeah, we text each other. So, quick story. So I text him and I said, you know what, maybe we should start a podcast because, if you remember, so when this is in 2020, so everything was kind of, just 2020, right?
Right. Right.
And people were starting to do more stuff like podcasts or whatever, and it wasn't really that big of a deal.
It
Now-
wasn't. The podcast wave had not hit.
No, so we were sort of like, okay, let's do it. Let's just do it for fun because I think nowadays most people are starting a podcast for, business purposes or whatever, a lead magnet or whatever. And I was like, let's just do it because that'll give us the opportunity to, bicker back and forth, but also just kind of, be ourselves. And plus, Rocky and I, just in transparency, we have access to some really smart, well-known people.
Yep.
And just because of
Yeah.
what we do and
Yeah.
what I do, and Jason Witten was our first guest,
Yeah.
on our show, and it launched March. So we came up with the idea in October or November of 2020, and then March 21 was our first show with Jason Witten.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, and the chemistry, because we knew each other, was really, honestly, it was instantly there. Right, Rock?
Yeah, we didn't have to act, or we didn't have to like try.
No,
we
we
were
just
just
did it.
sitting there, two dudes having a beer, kind of feel.
Yeah.
That's really how it was. Still is.
I think the hardest thing for us, though, was getting used to talking on a mic, because him and I tend to talk over each other, if you can't tell.
Right.
And it was just a different dynamic, because the person listening to the show can't chime in and ask questions. But our chemistry was obvious. And after, you know, probably 20, 25 shows, you know, we really got into a really good groove. We started doing really well, and our numbers started shooting through the roof. And, you know, Mark Cuban and all these, you know, different people have been on the show at this point.
Yeah,
And
and then nobody, I don't think anybody ever told us no, they would not do it.
everybody was saying yes. It's almost like the name Rock and Rich, people just sort of assumed that we were just this big show that had all these big guests.
It's a great name.
I mean,
Thank
I
you.
mean,
so
Yeah,
my
of
wife
course.
actually came up with it. And
Oh,
I
did
was
she?
actually against it, because I didn't want my name to be a part of it.
And nobody ever calls you Rich. I mean, until,
Nobody.
I was the
nobody
only
called me
one.
Rich. Yeah. So we did that, and then the show, honestly, it blew up in season 2, just completely out of nowhere. And it was nothing. It was nothing that we did. I think we just sort of hung around long enough, and then the guests started coming, and then
Yeah.
something happened with our Facebook to where it went viral. We had a few viral posts that Rocky would do, and
That was hilarious, man.
Okay, wait,
we
what
couldn't
viral-
believe it.
what did you do?
the
What was
chalkboard
it?
post.
Yeah, I wrote. It was just a copy and paste. It was like, if you forgot your password and you don't know your whatever, you are my people.
Right. Yeah. And you know, you forgot your password, but you know your number from 8th grade or something. Like
Yeah.
that. Well, that
Freaking-
one,
Wow.
it had 1 million comments,
Wow.
Oh my
Comments.
37 million views in a month.
When it goes viral like that, it's nuts.
It's insane.
yeah, it's
So-
crazy.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, so what most people don't realize is they think that podcast listeners will go to your social. It doesn't really work like
It
that.
doesn't have any overplay.
Nothing. So our Facebook didn't really have anything to do with our podcast. We would post stuff, but I think we have like 10 or 11,000 followers or something, like nothing really that big of a deal, because the people that would listen to the show, they wouldn't go to our Facebook. I listen to a ton of podcasts. I never go to their social
That's
media
right.
sites, right?
Yeah, and I don't even subscribe to most of them. I just listen to it.
You
and
just listen to it and let it go.
Yep.
And so what happened is some of those people started listening to our show. So then it got this like little extra boost, and we're like, what in the world?
Dude.
How are we getting 200,000 downloads?
And the global aspect of it was
40
crazy.
42
Oh
countries.
my God.
Some are
42
like-
countries, some of which I had never heard of.
I don't even, we were, and people still ask us, how did you guys do it? And we're like, I
We have no idea.
idea.
have no clue. Like, and it sounds funny to say that from a media person. You can sort of calculate a couple things, but you know, throwing your pole out into the ocean, you might just catch a whale. I mean, you just don't know, right? And,
Yeah.
you know, something that started, and I think that something that started in a very authentic way, you know, sort of had something to do with it.
Part of it, I think, Rich, is our original vibe was uncomfortable. It was Rock and Rich uncomfortable.
That's what we called the show
And-
originally.
Oh, you did. Okay.
And
Initially.
what we wanted to do was ask people like Jason Witten those questions that everybody wants to ask, but nobody does.
Right.
And we told them about what was coming, and that we can edit it afterwards if you don't like it, or if we ask about something that you don't want to talk about. But we want to know about your drug problem and your abuse and your DWI. We want to know about the fight you got in at that bar. I mean, we just want to ask all those questions, and also the good questions, like how in the world did you manage to, you know, become this perfect whatever actor, athlete, whatever, and that, I think, was a big part of our success, because people like to, they love that. They want to know the real you, not just the famous, fabulous you.
Right.
And I've always thought, on Facebook, everybody lies about their life. Like, if you look at it, you're like, man, I suck to everybody. But then I'll post about how wonderful everything is, and it's just
Right.
a big lie.
It's a big
is.
lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you find out things like what drove Jason Witten to be the greatest tight end in the world wasn't anything to do with his football skills. It actually had to do with his abuse growing up, and he was driven by another factor. So we even said, I think on the show, he wasn't successful. He wasn't successful in spite of his abuse. It was probably directly because of it.
Right.
It was a single driver. for
That
him.
causes our guests to want to go, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Right.
And it gets really interesting really fast.
I like asking those types of questions. In fact, I was emailing Mark Cuban actually yesterday, and I asked him a question because I'm going to start doing some stuff on Facebook or on LinkedIn. And I asked him 3 questions, and one of them was, what makes you truly happy? Like, what makes you happy? And I know Mark, and I know he's not going to answer all 3 questions. So, he's just Mark, right?
Right.
And he comes back with the one, and he says, when my kids call me dad, that's what makes him happy.
I can see it.
That's an amazing, amazing thing to say when I had 2 other questions that he just obviously didn't
Yeah.
answer.
Dismissed.
Right.
It wasn't
Yeah,
your
but-
first
Wow.
billion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like things like that, when you get to the heart of people, I think it just really opens up, your world certainly, but also gives you another perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's right.
And so I'm just an inquisitive type of person.
And it makes them real. It brings it back down to earth that they're human just like us. They put their pants on the same way, they put their
100%.
shirts on the same way. And
Right.
like you said, just being called dad makes them the happiest.
Isn't that
Amazing.
amazing?
Who would have thought that about Mark Cuban?
Correct.
Right.
I wouldn't have
would've
been my
said-
first guess.
No, I would have said spending that first bill on that airplane made
Yeah.
me pretty happy.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought about.
I know.
But then you sort of say, okay. And so taking that same curiosity and bringing it to a podcast, I think is what, and allowing other people to sort of learn from it, right,
Yeah.
Rock, is sort of a,
Big time.
sort of a reward for us, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. And the guest list, that it's kind of been a perfect storm. The people that we've just ended up with, like the Mary Kay lady that, ended up getting served and
Yeah.
sued and all that stuff that just, we couldn't have done that. We tell them the story about because you're better at that than I am, because I can't remember all the details.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting little deal. So I knew her publisher for a book that she wrote. So this is
Mary Kay Ash.
Mary Kay Ash's right-hand person. Okay, she was in the organization for about 25 years. And Millie Brown, who's the local book publisher here in Dallas, she reached out to me and said, "Hey, we'd love to have her on your show." Okay, that's amazing, right? I mean, what an honor. And so she had been since retired, and of course, Mary Kay Ash, passed away a few years back, and she was, and then she I think she went into, I can't remember, into the executive director role for the Mary Kay Ash Foundation, is what it was.
That's right. After she passed away. Yeah.
After Mary Kay Ash passed away, her right-hand person went over there, and it was kind of funny because she wrote this book, and it wasn't a tell-all, but it was
Kind of a tell-all.
kind of a tell-all. So the Mary,
But it was a positive tell-all.
it was all positive,
didn't
and 100
Mac on her or anything.
No, but 100% of the books
Proceeds.
would go directly to the Mary Kay Ash Foundation. What an
Oh,
amazing
wow.
thing!
Yeah, of course.
Well, when she came out with this book, the Mary Kay Ash company sued her to stop the publishing of the book. I mean, right? So we were like, wait a minute. Okay, but we didn't know any of this until after she was on our show. It
Yeah.
turns out.
And we were asking her uncomfortable questions.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
okay.
and it turns out that we were the only media that she did. So we released our show. She was actually sued that week. She was everywhere when people were looking her up. We were coming up.
Oh my gosh.
Hundreds of thousands of downloads
That's
and views.
amazing.
And I was hoping that the law firm would come after
Please
us.
sue us. Please, please, please.
Please. But they never did. But nevertheless, that is still, to this date, our highest most popular show. And it wasn't anything we did.
No,
just-
we were just sitting there
Perfect
asking
timing.
Oh,
questions.
great! We can talk to Mary Kay Ash's right hand. How cool!
I thought it sounded boring until we met her, and man, Mary Kay was a spark plug, dude.
She was.
Was
But
she?
Gangster.
she came over to the studio and she had a pink dress on, and it was kind of
Really cool.
yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and she took care of her financially too. Her secretary basically is what she was, a glorified secretary, and
That's
she
right.
had more than enough money, and I appreciated that about Mary Kay. You know, she was notoriously tight,
Right,
but she took care of her.
she sure did. But,
Knows who brought her to the dance.
and I still don't know what actually happened to that lawsuit.
I bet
Wow.
it got dropped. There's no way that went anywhere.
You think?
If she's not pocketing any of the proceeds, what are your
is she getting?
damages?
Right.
Yeah.
What are the damages?
Yeah.
That's true.
Unbelievable.
So Dad's
Anyway.
always shared with us, there's no such thing as bad press.
That's
Just make
ding,
sure
ding,
they
ding.
just
They
make
spell
sure
you.
they spell your name right.
That's right.
Always told us that. Doesn't matter. Just make sure they spell your name
That's
right.
right.
I
So,
love that. Yeah.
We never shied away from it. Correct.
Oh, that's why you guys doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck
Yeah.
yeah.
It's awesome.
So, all right, we're going to take a quick break well, as you always say, to pay some bills.
Yes.
I guess for us, maybe make some phone calls.
There you go.
And we'll be right back with y'all. Thank you very much.
This show is brought to you by the Celebrity Softball Classic. Rocky.
I know. CelebritySoftballClassic.org is where they can get their tickets.
And we have TK right here. We're trying to keep TK in our back pocket, who runs it because, Rocky, we want to get in.
Yeah, security issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
no
going to happen.
question.
Not going to happen.
Go to the website, celebritysoftballclassic.org. It's at Frisco Rough Rider Stadium, which is an amazing venue,
it's
by the way.
probably the best minor league park in America.
Yeah, I love it out
The
there, Rocky.
funnest.
The place is going to be full of rock stars. And so if you want to do a sponsorship, that's still available. There's still a couple of slots. Isn't that right, TK?
You have some suites available. About 3 suites are available. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Do it.
hey, bunch of celebrities, some veterans, an amazing organization putting on a great show for everyone, and Rocky and I.
Yeah, we had a blast last year, man. We didn't get thrown out till like 4 o'clock.
No, no, you're right. yeah.
Perfect.
It was we paid them
Starts
off.
at 5, gates open at 5. We have pregame stuff going on. Going to be donating a house to an unsuspected veteran there. Fireworks will be going off at the end of the night. It's going to be a host show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Check them out. Brought to you by Verve. This show is brought to you by the Celebrity Softball Classic. Go check them out.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome our viewers back in. We're here with Rock and Rich. I don't know if they like the dynamic duo pun.
I love it.
Okay.
I'm glued to his ass now. So.
Love having you guys on our show. It's been fun. All right, so I wanted to first talk about how do people find y'all, and I guess just type in Rock and Rich.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
Pretty much anywhere.
And are you on all the podcast platforms? And then are
every
there
one of them.
any separate websites or anything else that you want to direct people to? Or
We have our. We don't really use our website actually.
you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, we do have a
Okay.
Facebook. Yeah, Rock and Rich Facebook. We're not on YouTube though. So and we're not like you guys. We're not fancy. We don't have the video stuff yet. So we just do the audio stuff. It's just
Okay.
much easier. We have faces for radio, so we're
Yeah,
just gonna stick.
clearly, right?
Right.
We're gonna stick with that.
Okay. All right. So I guess let's get into your story. So
Okay.
tell us kind of where you've been, where you are, and where you're going.
Okay. Well, where I've been, 1996, I graduated. 1995, graduated from St. Mary's in San Antonio, became an attorney. Did that for 25 years. And I was started off with criminal defense and family law. And then I remember I love criminal defense because I remember just the idea of getting a good person a second chance just did it for me. And so I could really sell that to the prosecutors. And a lot of times it was a clear-cut case and my client was screwed, but I was able to convince the prosecutor that this is probably not going to be a repeat offender and a repeat client, and let's just give them a shot. Let's just give them a chance, and let's get them deferred. Some kind of a situation where it won't permanently damage their career or
Their life,
their
right.
life. Yeah. So I remember where I was standing physically the day I could afford to quit doing family law, because it really just was hard for me. And I had some really good family law friends, and they were cut out for it. They were very good at it. They loved it. They didn't have they had a nose for BS. and they were just good at it. And so I remember what I wanted to do was criminal defense and personal injury. That was my because I had done personal injury in law school, and my boss would come through at 5 o'clock and turn off the lights and send us all home. And I thought, that's not what I had envisioned. I thought I was going to be under a naked light bulb for 60 hours a week,
Right.
killing myself to make partner, and then retire, at 70 or whatever. And it just, when he said, dude, you can do this and you can make it what you want as a family, the family will make you happy. And this is just a means to an end. So make as much money as you can in the fastest amount of time and go be with your family. And that was his whole philosophy. And I changed my life because of him and because of that. And then I read Warren Buffett's biography, and he said, we always took our kids everywhere we went. We went on vacation. So that was my philosophy for that too. And so my goal was to show my kids as much as I could and take them on trips with us. Before that, I thought, man, it's going to be fun. I'll take my wife and we'll go travel the world together and get the kids plugged in somewhere while we're... No. That's not what we're going to do. I'm going to take them with me. So in 2017, I got into a car wreck, broke my back, and I had a motorcycle wreck a long time ago where my ankle was damaged and it was kind of getting worse. So I started getting prescribed pain pills. And it started off okay for a couple of years, but then it started to get to where that wasn't doing it, and then I started needing more. And you don't really realize how fast you're losing ground. You think you're okay, and that I just need to stop this pain. I need to quit. I can't really sit still because my back's always hurting, my ankle. So I got really addicted to oxycodone, and it was not until I got the oxycodone that the wheels came off, and I just got really addicted, and I lost control of my practice. My employees loved me. They circled the wagons. They could see that there was trouble. Rich could see that there was issues. I mean, it was just bad. And finally, I was done, and I resigned as a lawyer, and the state bar was actually really cool. They had seen my community involvement, my pro bono hours were off the chart, and they didn't want to hurt me. I mean, they really didn't. And so they allowed me to keep some of the cases that I had in the pipeline, and so I could survive for a little while, cases that I had referred out. And so
I just want to step in just really quick because I think the character of Rocky, certainly it superseded his addiction. And I'll give you an example. In Denton County, there were a number of kids that were, I guess they eat bread if they were behind on
peanut
their
butter sandwiches.
Yeah, if they were behind on their lunch money at school, they would only be allowed to eat peanut butter sandwiches.
Which is
for
different
lunch.
than all the other kids are getting.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because
The hot meals.
they couldn't afford their lunch bill, right? And so Rocky just without any fanfare paid off all those kids' bills and their debts, so they can just eat a hot meal through all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, wow.
and I think
Okay.
and when I say like he's done so many things in the community like that have just gone, like I said, without fanfare. That's just one example. Now that one actually did get some attention.
Well,
because-
I told my staff, don't put my name anywhere on it. I just want to handle it. And my staff said, this could go viral. And
Yeah.
what if it started a thing? It was around Christmas time. So I said, okay, you can put my name on it. And they did. And next thing you know, I'm on the news, and it goes nationwide. People just started paying off the loans or the lunch balances for kids that couldn't afford it. And so,
and it had an effect. It certainly had impact locally, but it also other people started doing it.
Yeah.
And I think to Rocky's testament, who he loves a stage and a mic. Like he's never met a mic or a stage that didn't like him, right?
Right.
But to his testament, that wasn't why he did this. That's just who he is as a person. And I think a lot of people that saw news articles and things about him, they would have these preconceived notions
Oh
of
my
who
gosh.
he was. But
Yeah,
People have
well,
no idea.
I'm,
You're
a,
right.
I'm a Christian too, and that makes it that much harder to.
Right.
I mean, it's like the opposite of a Christian. What happened with my trust account, with the money, it looked so bad.
yeah,
But my friends, it was crazy, man. There was very few people that really attacked me. I had judges giving me notes, lawyers calling me and coming over, and I mean that people were like, dude, this doesn't define you.
Right.
Don't let this define you. And so I didn't.
right.
And now here we are. I mean,
That's
Yeah,
great.
and it was
Yeah.
it was crazy during the time of the crash. We had this show that was blowing up, and we had to take a little bit of a hiatus there, but we were still doing live events, and it's almost like people didn't. I don't know if they didn't associate him with the show, or there was this
yeah, there's a disconnect.
There's a
for
disconnect
sure.
because-
Nobody was like, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah, we didn't. We're
Okay.
like, well, that's so weird because our show it's a national show. It wasn't just local, so it sort of probably had a helping hand there. But and then the show still continued to grow during the hiatus, and we were still doing live events and emceeing
Yeah,
festivals and all kinds of stuff. And
yeah.
yeah,
No,
and so
it was
a
pretty
crazy story.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you
addiction.
kicked it.
Okay, so you kick the addiction.
Kicked the addiction in 2020. I checked myself into a rehab. It was actually a detox. I was at the point in this addiction where I wasn't even trying to get high. I was just trying to function.
Of course.
And so my dealer got in a car wreck, and I'm like, this would be a good time for me to go to Florida. And my wife was like, she had tried and watched me flop around like a fish trying to beat that stuff. And she's like, just go. I got your back. Get to Florida, get clean. And so I did. And that was a week in November 4th of 2020. And that was it, man. I got to the detox place, and the guy goes, I've never seen anybody conscious with this much fentanyl in their system.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, dude, you got the wrong test. I don't do fentanyl. And he said, yeah, you do. They press it with the pills
my
that you buy.
gosh.
They press it, and it makes it 50 times more addicting than heroin.
Wow.
It's almost impossible to get off of it without medical assistance. So I'm like, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
So that was that. Got off of it, got clean. Rich had my back the whole time. You could have easily said, you know what, let's just call it a day, and I wouldn't have even judged you for it. I would have been okay with that. But the vast majority of my friends were just like Rich, and they were like, let's just move on.
And they're the unsung heroes.
That's
Your
right.
wife, people like Rich, and
Yep, that's
I mean,
right.
it took a village.
It did. It did.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, but that's
Okay, so what are you doing now in addition to the Rock and Rich show?
so. Well, I got into heavy equipment, and I was, I'd buy it at auction, make ready, and then sell it, and that works if you can get a good make ready guy, which is the operative word. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And then I did stock market, day trading. I just did some stuff that just wasn't. I never did really like it until I kind of came into solar, and I really realized solar is a big wave, and it's coming, because they don't realize that you can get a solar system that saves you money, and you don't have to pay anything out of pocket, and the money that you're paying your utility bill every month can now go towards your solar system, which is less than your utility bill, and it's going towards an asset that increases the value of your home.
Of course.
I didn't know that, and I always thought solar panels were like glass panels
Yes.
on top of your house that would destroy in a hailstorm. You can run over those things with a truck. I had no idea. Hit them with a baseball bat. They're like metal. You can't break them. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm working for. A company called Circle L Solar, and it's a really solid company. They don't try to sell people things they don't need. Their prices are really reasonable. I mean, I'm not going to get into all that, but it's it's a
right,
great
got it.
place
Okay.
for me to be parked, and we're doing really well. So thank you for
Fantastic.
asking.
Of
Yeah,
course.
man.
Of course.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur through and through. I will say that. It's like he's always, that next thing, right? And so for me,
That and a survivor.
a survivor.
Of course.
Yeah, right.
That's amazing.
Thank
Right.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
the
it's-
grace of God.
it's fun to see that, like, you know, your friends sort of, you know, hit bottom and then sort of climb back out. And it's just like,
See, but my benefit is now, because I always wondered, do you like me because I'm Rich Rocky Hair, the rock star personal injury guy, or do you love me because I'm Rocky?
right,
And now I know
right,
who those people are
yeah,
Of course.
and who they aren't.
right.
And so that was fabulous. It was a butt kicking, I'll tell you that. But
And he has like 27 kids, Eddie.
yeah, my kids are, they all freaking circle the wagons.
How do you have? How many kids do you have?
8.
38. Yeah.
You try saying a bad word about me to my daughter. Watch what happens.
8 kids. Amazing.
Yeah, right. I know.
Wow.
I know. And that kind of made the whole monetary thing a challenge.
Of course.
But
Because they're not cheap.
No, you have to pedal pretty fast. But we kind of had our kids in 2 separate category, 2 different waves of kids. So I've got 4 20-plus-year-olds and then 4 that are 12 and under, 17 and
wow.
under. Yeah.
With the same woman?
Yeah.
Or-
Well, yeah, no.
okay.
5 of them with the same woman.
Okay, got
and
it.
the other ones, we blended our marriage.
Oh, there we go.
We
okay.
had 3.
That's huge.
So,
got
yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Fun
Okay.
stuff.
So Rocky, is that really your name or it's a nickname?
I named myself Rocky in 1977 when Rocky 1 came out. And I thought the movie was so amazing that I wanted to be that guy. My parents thought, oh, isn't that cute? That'll never stick,
Right.
And then they heard me announced on the football, on my 3rd grade football team, they announced my name, Rocky, and my dad was like, what? Oh, no. And that was that.
I'll be
46 years later.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That is
Isn't
great.
that crazy? Yeah.
That's
So what's your
great.
legal name?
Rodney. Yeah.
Same as his dad.
We have the same initials, me and Rich.
Yeah, RWH.
Yeah, so I'm gonna snag his Toomey bag one of these days.
You can have it. That thing's got a broken zipper. The zipper
Done.
broke. Well,
Don't
they
have to
told
tell me
to
twice.
fix it. They said that they're going to need it for 3 weeks. I'm like, I haven't been 3 weeks without that bag. And
I've never seen you without that bag.
I can't go that long
I'm just
without my
gonna have to
bag.
go buy another one, I guess. You know.
Okay. So Rich, give us some history on you.
Man, I don't even know where to start. Really.
Oh my
Is it as
God.
colorful as Rocky's?
No, no, no,
Okay,
no, no,
all
no,
right,
no.
all
I,
right.
you know, I was born in Binghamton, New York, upstate. You know, I son of a truck driver. You know, blue collar upbringing. You know, Rocky and I actually have sort of opposite backgrounds, if you will. You know, his dad started a private school. My dad was a truck driver. There's, you know, literally no entrepreneurship in my family at all. I think one of my cousins and a couple people, but
That
yeah.
is fascinating. I never thought about there's no entrepreneurs in your family.
No.
And you freaking never worked for anybody for more than a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm unhireable.
You are.
Yeah, but the thing, you know,
You've done really well.
well, I think what I've always had that sort of mentality, right? Even growing up, I knew that it was, you know, a little bit different. Like I just didn't see the value of working per hour like that,
Right.
even though you know you sort of do that anyway. But yeah, and I modeled a little bit, and for 4 years represented by IMG in New York and Elite in Atlanta, and I did that for 4 years, and then sort of went into consulting almost like right away. After that, marketing and consulting at a computer company with a guy, and then yeah, really like just honestly, one day at a time, I would just start getting better and learning my craft more, learning Adobe, learning PR and media, and just I read about 50 books a year, and sort of just like learning my craft. I did not go to college, and to looking back now, that probably worked to my advantage. So I was modeling in New York and doing all these things while most people were in school.
So hold on. When you say modeling, are you a LeBaire dancer?
No,
Okay.
never did that.
Okay. I don't know. Some people say modeling and they're
Never-
okay.
Never
all right.
did that. No, in fact, no. So I did like stuff for Neiman Marcus and
course,
like,
I got it.
yeah, that sort of thing. So I did commercials and stuff. So, but I think the the entrepreneur spirit in me sort of I don't know, it just sort of burned to keep doing things on my own. And I went inside of a law firm for a little bit. And
It's how you think.
yeah,
I mean,
It's
you
your
don't.
brain has to be wired that
It
way.
yeah,
does.
that's a good way
Yeah.
to
He
put
didn't
it.
ever go, you know what? I think I'm going to be an entrepreneur. He just went out and started working, and that's what he did.
This is what you do.
That's what you do. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do. So I have a twin, an older brother who passed away, and then an older sister. Yeah, and so they all worked, and my sister's a pharmaceutical buyer for hospitals, and my brother does real estate. And it's just I don't know. I think it's just a different sort of path you take in life, like the entrepreneur thing.
Your
But
sister's a pharmaceutical buyer.
she works for hospitals.
How did we not make a gazillion dollars on COVID crap,
No
dude?
joke. Right.
I know.
Right.
Come on,
Now,
Rich.
now he's
Oh, well,
telling
they
you
were-
this.
I think they were like almost laying off at their hospital because it was just such a weird time.
Yeah, that's right.
For all of them. She's in upstate New York, but yeah. And so I have this consulting firm, and I do a lot of crisis stuff. And then I did a lot of crisis stuff for Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks, and I've been working with them since 2018.
Every time the wheels come off of a big church or a big organization, Rich's name is somewhere in the media.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an interesting game to be playing in, right? You're sort of you're invested into the outcome for the client.
Yeah, but dude, the things that you have said to do when like there was a rape case with a pro athlete,
Yeah.
I expected you to say the exact opposite of what you said, and it was magic the way you looked at those things and handled those things, and ultimately got a result that was livable for everybody involved, including the victim.
Yeah.
I was really blown away by that, man. I've always told you that, but that for the record, he's really good at that.
Yeah, you know what? And my story is not like Rocky's, and I think there's this. For me, I have a high level of respect for Rocky to see his optimism, right? And no matter what stage he's at or whatever, and so we sort of feed off of each other like that. And although we joke around on our show a lot and we sort of knock at each other, that is us naturally doing that in our relationship. But I think there's this deep level of respect that I think we both have for each other.
Well, you're taking people at their absolute worst and,
Right.
and making it better for everyone, like you said. And especially in this day and age with social media, I mean, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. You can't escape it.
And it was hard, like when he was going through all of his stuff. It's I've never had to consult on my own crises, and so like we had this big show, and I didn't really know what to do, with everything that was
Yeah,
happening with Rocky.
how do we play
navigate
this? Yeah.
So we sort of had to take it one step at a time. There were a lot of legal stuff and some things that were happening, but
My lawyer was like, no, the answer is
and
no.
The answer's definitely 100% no on that one. And so you just sort of navigate that, right? And anyway, so, it's kind of a quick path. And I have a Uncom Media, uncom.media is the name of my firm. And yeah, that's what I do. A lot of crisis stuff. Yeah, that's really corporate communications is where I'm an entrepreneur, but I stay in my lane.
Go ahead.
And then you've picked up a SpaceX. I know I keep calling it
EarthX.
SpaceX.
EarthX.
I wish. I'd love to do that. So I'm actually a podcast a host on 2 other shows. So the What in East Dallas is Going On is a show is a community-based podcast that I started with Camille Libby, who's my podcast co-host. So we own visiteastdallas.com, where we live, and we have a magazine coming out in 2025. And so we're super excited about that. We've already sold all the premium spaces actually in the magazine, which is absolutely remarkable. We're recording this in September of 24, right today. And so we're super excited about that. Everyone's excited. And I love doing community-based things like that. And then I'm also a host of the EarthX podcast, which is a podcast that is, it's called the EarthX Media Pro Planet Podcast. And I just host the show with Melinda, who's the co-host, and we focus really on environmental and sustainability issues, and we interview people from all over the world. And that launches actually in about a month, I think, that whole thing. And the intent is to build the largest podcast network exclusively focused on the environment and sustainability in the world. And we're well on our way. And it's amazing. We've recorded a bunch of shows, and EarthX is a pretty cool organization right down the street from here.
Okay, right.
We need to work my solar angle into EarthX. I hadn't even thought
There
about
you
that.
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's huge.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a whole topic, like the whole thing, because I was one of those. I'm not, one way or the other. We need oil, but we need solar. You can't just take away oil and everything that oil provides and gas.
10-4.
Yeah, you have to sort of work your way into it, and there's this transition period. So there's companies and people that are doing amazing things around the world, and so I'm lucky enough to host that show and be a part of that as well. So yeah,
Of course. Good.
That's amazing. I mean, because when I first met you guys, it was Rockin' Rich, and it was fun and it was funny, but damn.
No, really. Hey,
Damn
we
is all I
really
can
listen. We
say.
really appreciate y'all sharing with us kind of some of y'all's backstory and peeling back some of the layers of the onion, so that people can get to know who Rockin' Rich really are. I mean, y'all really are the folks that they hear, and the joking and the amazing talent that y'all bring on an interview. But it's also nice to know that you're real folks. You sit here and you're like the rest of us.
For sure.
All right, you wanted to lighten things up a little bit.
oh gosh,
Well,
It gets
yeah,
lighter?
it does get. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
On that note, I
Serious
think I'll
stuff's
go blow
over.
my brains out.
Right.
is there anything more? Are y'all done?
we're done. We're done.
All right, so to lighten things up, we've got a few questions for you. Well, no, actually, I want to get back to y'all asking Gary the question why he makes his bed every morning.
Oh,
Wait, why do you make your
So that goes back to the dog stories y'all were talking about. And not that
You love dogs.
I do. I'm not a pet hater in any way, shape, or form. People ask, do I have a dog currently? I don't, because I live by myself and I'm never home. So it wouldn't be fair to the pet, number
yeah,
one.
good.
So Lori had this dog back in, I guess, grade school. You were in grade school?
She was
little bit older.
when I was 10 years old, she was my birthday present.
Oh,
Right.
A poodle that I named Peaches.
A toy poodle.
okay.
Just
Did you bond like major bond?
she bonded.
She and Gary bonded.
Just a mangy poodle. And this is the kind of poodle where you take them outside, they come in and they're rubbing their butt on the shag carpet to clean themselves.
Yes.
Just a nasty, just awful.
Hey, now that's Gary's perspective.
Oh my God. So I would go to school, I'd come home, and this dog would be planted, its ass and all, on my pillow every day when I got home.
See, that's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's a problem for me.
The dog's licking themselves, rubbing his ass, cleaning it after.
Not
he goes
that
to
there's
the
anything
bathroom.
wrong with that.
No, that's what dogs do. And some dog lovers let them lick their face and kiss them and do all that stuff afterwards. I don't get it. I don't understand it. So that taught me a lesson. And before I would
Lori's been laughing about this for like 30 years.
before I would leave to school every morning, I would make sure that the covers were pulled up over the pillow, tucked in under so she couldn't get to it. And I'll be damned if to this day I make my bed every single day.
You should be
Every
thanking
morning.
her.
His tongue is out on this pillow after the dog's ass has been on it.
Awful. Yeah, right.
I was
Awful.
expecting some Navy SEAL reason why he makes his bed every day.
No,
It's
no.
this amazing.
Little
Yeah, when
ass.
you get your stuff.
Just so the dog's ass doesn't
Lori's
touch.
damn dog.
That's awesome.
Okay, that is rich.
That is
That awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
It was fun growing up with Gary.
I bet.
It was great doing practical jokes on him
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
that we
awful.
continue to today.
She was the youngest child, daddy's little girl, could do no wrong. And to this day, we still have to live with that.
So awesome. That's funny.
That is
Good
awesome.
stuff.
Okay, so pet story for you.
Oh man, I had a dog in law school, and then for the first few years I practiced, and her name was Adrian, and I got her in undergrad, and we were so close. Like, I took her everywhere. She was half chow, half shepherd, so she was this
Okay.
big, amazingly beautiful white German Shepherd chow looking dog with this just the most amazing. So, but after she died, it was really hard for me to bond with another dog. I still haven't been able to.
wow.
Really?
Yeah. I just can't. I don't feel the love, man.
I get it.
That's
After
tough.
Peaches died, I couldn't do another dog for a while, so we got ferrets.
That's not a bad idea. Ferrets are awesome.
They
I always
smell.
wanted one. The boys smell. I always wanted.
We had two females. They were great.
Yeah, I always wanted a ferret. Maybe I'll do that.
Gary, I'll get you a ferret.
No, I'm
Gary
okay.
would like one.
I am okay. I'm good. My springtails are enough. That's it. I'm good enough with that.
That is great, Gary.
He's too funny. All right, so greatest pickup line you've given or received?
Oh boy.
Man.
Okay, well, you were a model, so
really-
you had to have
you
something.
had to have a lot.
Right?
No, actually, so I didn't. I've never been one to go up to a girl like that. I wouldn't know if a girl was hitting on me or not. I did have a girl that one time in Charlotte, North Carolina, buy me a slice of pizza. And I just thought she was nice. I don't know.
Oh, isn't
She's
that
like,
nice? God,
That's so
dude,
sweet.
really?
I mean,
Coulda-
really is right.
She's trying to freaking reel you in.
Yeah, I know, but-
Thanks for the pizza. Bye.
That's exactly what I
That's exactly what you.
How did you get married?
Well, I was
Where
going to
did you
say,
find
right?
your
How'd that
wife?
happen?
She drove that train.
Yeah, my buddy introduced us, and that we just sort of hit it off and love at first sight, right down the street at Albanese, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
uh-huh.
All right. Very nice.
But that was but I didn't have any pickup lines, and plus I was like kind of 4 drinks in, 7 and 7s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty. That
Slicks up
makes
the
everything
wheels.
a little easier. At
Okay.
least
So,
you think it's easier.
so share your line. Go ahead.
Crumpled or folded? That was it.
Folded.
Yeah, folded. Even me.
Yeah.
I'm all about folded.
I had no idea what it meant.
Yeah, really?
Well,
Hey,
I'm a
for
crumple
those,
guy.
For those
You're a
listeners
crumple
out there,
guy?
for
And then it turned into, hold on, how many sheets?
oh, I'm at least like 12, 15.
12 or 15.
You get 3 when you go to certain places and they're doling out the sheets. You only get 3.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, what's going to be funny is if the listeners are, what are they talking about? So don't
Correct.
tell them.
Oh, we're not going to tell
not
them?
gonna tell
No,
them?
we're not going to tell
have
them.
you
what
ever
we're
been to
talking about.
China?
No, but I've been to Thailand.
They give you cardboard.
China, they will literally give you one.
2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. And then if you try to use more, they'll yell at you. There's an old guy standing there who yells at you. It's bizarre.
I like Thailand because it's got the well. No, then we're going to give it away what it is. So yeah.
Okay, we're not going to tell them.
crumpled
Okay,
or folded.
all right. Yeah,
I
crumpled
mean,
or
I'm
folded.
impressed that y'all were right on that one.
Oh yeah, that's an easy.
They'll do
one.
it
Well,
exactly.
we've been around.
Easy.
At least it wasn't crepe paper.
I
Some
will
places
bet-
give you crepe paper.
Yeah, right?
It is.
Ugh.
I want to tell you about the pickup line because when I was in school, I would have definitely tried a pickup line because I was all about girls. But my buddy, who really wasn't anything to look at, he would just reel in these amazing women all the time. I mean, he didn't even have to try. So I just watched him. And what he did was he dipped. So he would just put in a big dip and just walk up and start talking to them like they were his friends. And there wasn't any pretense, and it wasn't like I'm trying to get in your pants. You know, it was just, hey.
What's up?
And I got that from him, and it's a winner. It works because you're not trying. I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to do anything. And you got to kind of convince yourself that you really aren't trying to do anything because they see right through it.
They can sense it from a million miles. Yeah.
Women are ninja.
Right, Lori?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. We know it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I wouldn't know.
So did you start dipping?
Oh, I've been dipping the whole time.
Oh,
but-
you have. Okay.
Yeah.
He
All
never
right.
stopped dipping.
but one of my wife's good friends' husband tries to hide it, and like she'll put it on his pillow, his spit cup, And her friend said, "God, I wish my husband would just man up and just dip if you're gonna dip,
Right.
like Rocky does." I'm just, I'm not here to impress anybody, and so if you don't like it, we'll talk about it, but I'm not gonna stop.
So
unless
do you
I
have
want
a
to.
cup? Do
No.
you have a specific cup that you
No,
use?
that
All
would be
right.
gross.
He
Yeah.
swallows it.
I could do
Oh.
well. I try to I try to spit it if I can. But.
So we had a roommate in college that dipped, and this is probably what taught me to never dip. And he left crap everywhere: dip cans, cups. He
see,
used plastic bottles.
I'm not that guy.
Okay,
yeah.
so he used a Coke can a couple of times.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Oh yeah.
Gosh,
oh, awful.
no.
And I'm thinking, oh, is that my Coke there?
Oh, my God.
No.
I like to kill him. If he wasn't 3 times my size, I'd be less one roommate.
Oh, my
It was
gosh.
awful. Anyway, so I've never had the desire to dip.
I went to a Tate High School in Cantonment, Florida, and it's a farm school. Really, we had, it was like a farm school, and we all had our dip cups on our desks.
That's
Like, just
That's
sitting
just
there.
nasty.
My kid,
Wow.
listen to this. My kid, Jet, was sitting there watching something and he couldn't look away and he had to pee. So he peed in a bottle. And I came in there and it was it was a drink you can only get in like Cayman Islands.
I don't even know where this is going.
It's like this great drink.
Oh,
I can't remember
God.
what it's called, but it's in a dark green bottle, so you can't tell. So I picked that thing up and I took a big pull.
No, you did
And I
not.
went, dude. I looked over at Jet and I said, dude, I swear this tastes like piss. And he laughs about that to this day. Like,
Oh,
On that note, that's the end of the
Did he
podcast.
fess
Raising the bar.
up?
yeah, no, yeah, we're done.
Oh, yeah.
Shut it down.
Where's it
Shut it
going
down.
here?
That is great.
Rocky.
yeah, he just started laughing, and that was,
Oh
I
my
knew.
God.
Yeah,
All right.
that's the same
Gosh.
kid who faked a head injury with fake blood and laid there unconscious. I mean, he's pretty hardcore about stuff like that.
Oh,
Got to
my
watch that
gosh.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I never did that bad of a joke.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my wife put him up to it. Like, lay here and we'll go get Dad. I was
Oh,
taking
my-
a nap, and they were like, Dad, Jet hit his head. And I come in, he's laying there in a pool of blood with his head. And I'm like, come on, buddy, stay with us. Come on, stay with us.
Oh my gosh.
And I look over at my wife, and she's just looking at me. And I look over, I'm like, call 911. And they're still looking at me. And so I poke him in the ribs, and I'm like, God, I'm so going to fake a heart attack in the backyard.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh
I still
my
haven't
God.
done it. I'm waiting for that's a dish best served cold. I'm about to do it.
That is so. All I ever did was short sheet your
Golly.
sheets.
Short sheet
Well,
my
no,
sheets.
actually, we made you. So Gary was out one night. It was a Friday night. My sister and my dad and I were at home, and we wrote him a sweet little note. Hey, you've been out a lot, homework, school. Would you like us to make you breakfast in bed in the morning? And the first note we get back is, "Oh, y'all are so sweet. Thank you so much, but I have to get up early. I've got to get to work. Maybe another time." The second letter sent was, y'all think y'all are so cute. I was up for hours cleaning sugar out of my sheets because we went and got Rice Krispies because he would always have a bowl of Rice Krispie treats with some sugar. So we sprinkled Rice Krispies all over his bed. Short sheet his bed with sugar.
That's not
He
that's
was
not funny.
pissed.
No, it
Yeah, I'm
was
with you.
not
He was
at all.
so mad.
At all.
Gosh.
She's still laughing.
now-
Yo,
Listen, there's crap she's still laughing about. You're right, 30 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. It was
funny.
worth it, man. Well, take one for the team.
You should have a whole podcast that's
Oh, Jeff.
dedicated to that.
I guess,
Things we
right.
did to the
You know
Gary
what? No,
podcast.
so I had a boyfriend that we Oreo cookied his Camaro because that was just like a funny thing to do, and I didn't realize when you Oreo cookie someone's Camaro that like ruins the paint.
Oh my
Oh, I
gosh.
didn't know that either.
now he had a
It does.
spotted Camaro. Oh
did,
man,
he
I bet he
did.
was beyond mad.
I mean,
You're like, oh,
so
who
note
did
to
that?
self. I mean, who? Yeah,
He just
man.
found out about it just
I
right
bet-
now.
who that was.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
All right, listen, I know you guys have things to do, places to go, people to see, autographs to sign.
Yeah.
Can't thank y'all enough for joining Lori and I on Raising the Bar podcast,
Ton of fun.
hosted
Yeah,
by the
thank
Ashmore
you.
Law Firm, of course. Would love to have you guys back. Would certainly like to continue the relationship and the synergy and the partnership on whatever it is we can do for y'all and whatever y'all can do for us.
Let's
I
do
know
it.
we're in. Yeah.
We are in. Yeah, thank y'all. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say in parting words?
Nope, I think that's it. Mic drop. Although we should have dropped the mic after your story.
Right, that's it.
Gosh. Yeah, which one?
Clunk.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Appreciate it.
See y'all.
Thanks to our sponsor, the Ashmore Law Firm.
We specialize in probate, estate planning, family law, guardianship, personal injury, and civil litigation.
You can find us at ashmorelaw.com.
Or by calling us at 214-559-7202
Again, that's ashmorelaw.com.
or calling 214-559-7202.